haunted houses aren't just for the movies. There are many locations your average frightful person wouldn't dare enter, just based on disturbing local legends that have been passed down for years. At the same time, these stories draw the adrenaline junkies in and create booming businesses at these locations. Here are the creepy details we can learn from the people brave enough to enter these 3 spots. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at England's most haunted locations. The haunted Skirrid Mountain Inn. Skirrid Mountain Inn is a pub located in Monmouthshire, often considered the oldest pub in Wales. The pub was built from an old courtroom that was frequently used by the famous judge George Jeffreys to hear cases. Jeffreys was notorious in the 17th century for his mass executions, earning him the title the Hanging Judge. It's believed that in the building that would ultimately become Skirrid Mountain Inn, 182 different people were executed. In fact, to this day, there remains a noose on the pub's staircase that hangs from the beam said to be the beam used for the killings. Based on the sheer number of deaths that occurred in this building, it's certainly no surprise that the inn would be a hotspot for ghosts. The inn's owner, Jeff Fiddler, detailed the paranormal activities of his famed establishment to The Guardian. In one of his stories, his wife slept over at the inn, only to be awakened again and again by the sensation of something tugging at her leg. While certainly creepy, the couple didn't think too much of it. That is, until they made a rather chilling connection. They learned that the families of people sent to execution in the old courtroom would tug on their relatives' legs during the hanging in order to more quickly end their suffering. Fiddler's wife wasn't the only family member to experience paranormal activity in the pub. After trying to use the bathroom one day, his grandson complained, "The man in the long dress won't let me in." Fiddler himself confessed to witnessing the full figure of a ghost, but only once. He caught the image in broad daylight of what appeared to be a coachman standing on his porch. This vision remained for only a second or two before disappearing. Patrons of the pub report their own fair share of paranormal experiences, and these occurrences are often what keeps these curious customers coming back. Tourists and locals insist on an occurrence of glasses and coins flying off the bar, abnormal cold spots in rooms, and hearing whispering and roaring sounds in their ears, with no one around. Some guests even report waking up with rope burns around their neck or experiencing a sensation of being choked. Some of the inn's ghosts have been identified and are known by name. Their best known spectre is an 18th century barmaid named Fanny Price, who was buried in the local churchyard after dying of consumption. Often, guests observe the smell of lavender right before one of her appearances. One female guest even insisted that Fanny tried to kill her by holding her down under the water of her bath. Another frequently seen ghost is John Crowther, one of the thieves who was executed in the inn. This ghost is thought to be particularly friendly and not murderous like the barmaid. Despite all these experiences, the owner remains skeptical. Still, he doesn't take any chances, and follows a popular nightly local tradition of putting out a specific cup, an ale-filled tankard thought to appease the devil. Stories of this haunted inn have spread widely enough to earn the inn features on popular ghost shows. Pluckley Village, Kent. A haunted house is one thing, but an entire haunted village certainly is horrifying to think of. Kent's Pluckley Village is home to so many ghosts that the Guinness Book of World Records recognised it as the most haunted village in England in 1989. It's said that somewhere between 12 and 14 ghosts reside there. It seems as though every corner and spot in this village has its own personal ghost. One famous example is Fright Corner, a road in Pluckley that's said to be haunted by a highwayman killed in the 18th century. Supposedly, the man was killed in a fight after being pinned to an oak tree with a sword. Visitors claim to witness this sword fight being reenacted by the ghosts of all the former residents involved in the original brawl. There's also a second haunted road in Pluckley, Maltman's Hill, where people would report the sound of horse hooves pulling a carriage. The ghost of the carriage and its riders have occasionally been seen as well as heard. A more gruesome story is that of a Pluckley bricklayer who was crushed to death by a clay wall. Visitors claim to hear his agonised screams near the brickwork. Unsurprisingly, Pluckley's cemetery is also known for its chilling paranormal activity, particularly the visit of the ghost of Lady Daring. Lady Daring, known as the Red Lady, was buried in the graveyard of Pluckley St. Nicholas Church in the 12th century. Her coffin was made of lead, with a red rose placed on top, earning her the name the Red Lady. She's said to wander the graveyard in search of her stillborn baby. The village is also home to the White Lady, who roams the St. Nicholas Church and the Daring family library. Another well-known haunted location in the village is Pinnock Bridge, which is said to be visited by the ghost of a gypsy woman who sold watercress collected from the stream below. She can be spotted by visitors sitting on top of the bridge smoking a pipe. It's said that she accidentally burned to death. Pluckley's abandoned windmill, the Pinnocks, is also known to be haunted by the ghost of miller Richard Buss. In 1930, Richard Buss closed down his mill, but it wasn't until 9 years later that it was destroyed after being struck by lightning. Richard now haunts the windmill, but guests are more likely to see him when a thunderstorm hits. Pluckley also hosts 3 haunted pubs. The first, the Blacksmith's Arms, claims to have 3 ghosts, a maid, a king's man, and a coachman. The second pub, the Black Horse, allegedly has a set of mischievous ghosts who are never seen but are reported to steal guests' belongings in plain sight, only for them to reappear a few days later. Finally, the Daring Arms pub, which was formerly a hunting lodge, is said to house the ghost of a bonnet-wearing woman whose image is so prominent that she's been mistaken for one of the living drinkers. With so many ghosts residing in Pluckley, of course the village has haunted houses as well. One of these houses is named Greystones, and is thought to be haunted by the ghost of a monk. A second haunted house, Rose Court, housed a lady allegedly in love with the Greystones monk. The lady eventually took her own life, distressed by seemingly unrequited love, with a poisonous cocktail, and her spirit is said to still linger in the house. A final haunted location in Pluckley is Screaming Woods. Reports are commonly made of sounds of screaming men and women coming from these woods after dark. It's believed that these screams come from the ghosts of people who died in the woods after getting lost in the misty conditions. 2 former village residents are also said to have hung themselves in these woods, a teacher and a colonel, and there have been sights of their spirits as well. It seems there isn't a single safe place in Pluckley Village for ghost-fearing visitors. The haunted Bury Pomeroy Castle. The Bury Pomeroy Castle, located in Devon, England, is a Tudor mansion built in the late 15th century by the Pomeroy family. The family eventually sold the castle, and the second owners abandoned it after it was struck by lightning and sustained expensive damages, leaving it to sit in ruins for hundreds of years. The castle is said to be the home of 2 female ghosts, the White Lady and the Blue Lady. The White Lady is known to be the spirit of Margaret Pomeroy, who allegedly starved to death, imprisoned in the dungeons of the castle, by her jealous sister Eleanor. Many people believe that the sisters loved the same man, but Margaret surpassed Eleanor in beauty, leading to Eleanor's sinister and vengeful deed. Visitors can feel a cold chill, signifying Margaret's presence, as they descend the staircase winding down her tower and into her dungeon. Margaret's presence is also known to accompany feelings of depression and uneasiness in the castle's visitors. The Blue Lady is less identifiable, but is thought to be the daughter of a Norman lord. She roams the dungeons distraught and remorseful over the loss of her baby, which she conceived with her own father and ultimately murdered. Her cries can also be occasionally heard throughout the castle. She's a more sinister ghost, as she's said to occupy a tower from which she begs for help from passers-by, who allegedly fall to their death after she successfully lures them up there. For many, just the thought of these places and the stories surrounding them will send chills down their spines. Would you be brave enough to step foot in these haunted locations? So what do you make of these haunted locations? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. and help us by growing this community whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.